Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Students, Assalamu alaikum and welcome to the class again. Today we are discussing chapter number 2, atomic structure, and the topic is discovery of protons, and also we can call it canal race discovery. Right students, why it is called canal race? I will discuss it in a very short time. So, okay. Canal race, why, who discovered canal race? Canal race was discovered by Goldstein in 1886. Goldstein in 1886 discovered canal race. Now, what was in his mind that he repeated the same experiment and made a bit modification in the discharge tube. In his mind, he thought that the atom as a whole is neutral. Atom as a whole is neutral, and if their electrons are present, so proton or positive charge must be there to neutralize the negative charge. So he conducted a few experiments using the same discharge tube but with a little modification, and the modification were he used perforated cathodes. He used the discharge tube used by the Crookes with a little modification, And what was the modification? He used perforated cathode. What he did? This is still, it is the discharge tube, the same discharge tube as we discussed and the discharge tube experiment, discovery of electron. This is the same discharge tube. This is the discharge tube connected to a high voltage. This is anode is positively charged. This is cathode is negatively charged. But see the difference. Over here some perforation are made in the cathode, and over here some fluorescent material has been coated over here to see whether any particles comes from the anode side towards the cathode or not. For that reason he did perforation in the tube, and when he connected the tube he saw a red glow over here, and he concluded that as electrons are emitting from cathode and moving toward anode, and the same time there are positive particles which also move from anode towards the cathode. And my dear students, you will think that from where these positive radiation were produced, these positive particles were produced. So remember students, as I told you before, and this discharge tube, two processes take place. One is ionization and the second is excitation and de-excitation. So ionization results in the formation of cations. How? Look, let's suppose there is a gas molecule inside the tube. This is a gas molecule. It is a gas molecule. Now, this gas molecule, when it is hit by electron emitted from cathode, so what happened? It ionized this gas molecule. And when the gas molecule is ionized, it changed to a cation. And you know students, this cation having positive charge, and it will move towards the cathode. Why? Because it is positively charged and cathode is negatively charged. So you see, as you know that opposite charges, they attract each other. So this positive charge, a positive charge particle, it will move towards the cathode, and when it passes through this perforation, what will happen? It will hit to this zinc sulfide material, the fluorescent material which is coated over here, and this fluorescent material will start glowing. And when the Goldstein on the battery, what happens after a few seconds? The tube, this side start glowing. He concluded that there are some radiation which are emitted, which are produced inside the tube, and it moves towards the cathode, and when it hit this zinc sulfide material, the zinc sulfide material will start glowing, and this way he discovered the proton. Why these protons, they are known as canal rays? Because over here canals were made. This perforation is also known as canals, and these cations, it moves from anode towards the canals. That is why they are known as canal rays. They are passing through these canals, so these are known as, that is why they are known as canal rays. Now students, important point, that how they know that these are positive particles. So they conducted a few more experiments. Let me discuss those experiments. And one of the experiment, what he did, let me erase this. So students, I am erasing this. I am also erasing this part. Okay students, now let me write the properties of energies. Property number 1, when electric field was applied over here, electric field, so the positive particles which were produced, they bends towards the negative charge. You can see, in the absence of this magnetic field, these radiation, these particles, they move in straight way towards the cathode. But when they use electric field, so what happens? These particles, they bend towards the negative charge, which shows that these particles, they have positive charge, right? The canal rays are positively charged. Is it moves towards positive charge, it moves towards negative charge. It moves towards negative charge. In the electric field. In the electric field. Right students? Next point. Point number 2. Properties made. Point number 2. These radiation, they were deflected in the electric field as well as in the magnetic field. They were deflected in the magnetic field as well. They were deflected in the magnetic field. But at what direction? Opposite to that of electron. इलेक्ट्रॉन की जो डायरेक्शन थी उसके बिल्कुल अपोजिट. फॉर एग्जाम्पल ये हमारे पास मैग्नेटिक फील्ड है, दिस इज मैग्नेटिक फील्ड, एंड इलेक्ट्रॉन के लिए when electrons were coming from this side perpendicular from the cathode, it moves is bent perpendicular like this. Let me look. If this is electron is coming towards the magnetic field, what happens when it reaches over here? It will bend perpendicular. This is perpendicular, and you know that proton will come from this side. I mean that canal rays, so it will bend in this direction. This is perpendicular to the field, making 90 degrees. Look, for proton this direction, for electron this direction. Alright student? Opposite to that of electron. Opposite to that of electron. That of electrons. Students, next point. These particles, they move in a straight line. Canal rays moves perpendicular to the anode in a straight line. To the anode in a straight line. Next, they rotate the light beam. They rotated the light pinwheel. Which shows its particle nature. Particle nature means it's a particle which is having mass and velocity, and you know the product of mass and velocity is called momentum. So इसका मतलब है कि the canal rays, it has a specific mass and it has more velocity, so it has momentum. It is particle nature, and the mass of electron is 1.6726 into 10 raised to the power minus 27 kg, I think. And the charge on the proton is similar to that of the electron but opposite, plus 1.6022 into 10 raised to the power minus 19 coulomb. The most important point is this point. This point is the most important point. Students, याद रखिए. The E by M ratio obtained for canal rays were always less than that of electron. Right, students? The E by M ratio, the charge to mass ratio. This is E by M ratio mean the charge to mass ratio is always less than that of electrons. The maximum E by M ratio obtained was that for hydrogen gas. The maximum E by M ratio obtained was when hydrogen gas was used as a medium. You can use any gas if you want color change. If you change the nature of the gas, you will obtain a different color. The color and the discharge tube of the gases depends upon the nature of the gas. If you change the gas, the color will change. If you use a mixture of gases, you will get a mixture of colors. So the E by M ratio, but remember the E by M ratio of electron is constant for every gas. But in this case, the E by M ratio is not constant. It changes. The maximum E by M ratio obtained was that for hydrogen. I think it is 9.54 into 10 raised to the power 7. That the maximum ratio you are going to obtain what the factor which is 9.54 into 10 raised to the power 7 kg per kg. What does it mean? When you take 1 kg proton, when you take 1 kg protons, right students, so it will have a charge of 9.54 into 10 raised to the power 7 kg. It means this. Remember students, the cations which are produced inside the discharge tube while we are preparing canal race. So if we use hydrogen gas, we will call the cation as protons. But if you use any other gas, so you will use the word cations. Why we are using proton for hydrogen gas? So look, this is hydrogen atom. When it loses this electron, it changes to H plus, and this one electron goes away. Now we can call it a proton. Right student? So अगर हम सिर्फ हाइड्रोजन गैस इस्तेमाल करेंगे, so we will say that cation is proton. Right student? Otherwise, if you use any other gas, then you cannot use the word proton. You will use the word cation. I hope students you get all the points. Thank you very much. Allah Hafiz.